Good evening everyone, welcome to official YouTube channel of Officers Adda 24/7. So first let me know how are you all, and also let me know is audio video both are okay, are we good to go? So this is your Maha marathon for IE/IFS exam. As you know, on 8th of October you have your first paper, that is IE/IFS. So this is the session for the candidates who are going to give for their exam on the 8th of October. So in this particular session we are going to discuss everything regarding your IE/IFS paper. Everything we will be discussing here. First, all the modules will be covered, all the topics, all the units will be covered here with the explanation. So first of all, let me know is audio video both are okay, are we good to go? Do write all okay immediately or give me a thumbs up so that we will start the session. Let me know is everything okay. So if we talk about today's session, this session will be for English medium candidates. The questions will be there. Okay, and now starting, yes, okay. Chalo, let's start. So before starting the marathon, I want to tell you something, that what kind of questions you will be seeing in your paper. So first of all, if we talk about here, you will find here the one-liner questions. One-liner questions means very simple question, 0.5 mark question will be seen. Second pattern of question will be fill in the blanks and match the following, and match the following, filling the blanks will have 1 mark questions. You can find that. After that, you will find the number of questions from the case study and the statement based question. So these are the questions pattern in which will be there in your paper. If I talk about IE/IFS, you have 45 units under 4 modules. The module A and B covers your Indian economy, and module C and D covers your IFS. So all this you know. Let's start the session. But before starting the session, I want each and everyone to be very active in the session. Keep answering your questions, and in the end of the session, I will be asking you all how many answers you have given correct. So do take this particular marathon as your actual paper which you are going to give on the 8th of October, because accordingly I have prepared all the papers. Okay, so let's start. The first question here is asking about that RBI has recently launched its digital currency CBDC. The RBI's digital rupee will be treated as which of the following type of currency? So we know, if we talk about the recent reforms in the banking sector, a lot of recent reforms have been seen in the banking sector. If I talk about first, RBI have introduced the digital currency, and this digital currency is known as CBDC, Central Bank Digital Currency. It was introduced for the wholesale business as well as for the retail business. After that, second, if I talk about, RBI also introduced the National Asset Reconstruction Company of India Limited. This NARCL was introduced as a bad bank that will be purchasing NPA from the banks and making the balance sheet of the banks clear. The third, if I talk about, apart from that, we have seen the changes. IBC, Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code was also introduced, and the new development financial institution, that is NAFID, this is also introduced. All these are the recent reforms in the banking sector. And you guys are saying it will be as a fiat money. Fiat money is a type of money which will be given by Government of India, the legal tender, the currency which have the legal tender of Government of India, or we can say simply the currency which can be in the circulation, you can use it, that will be a fiat currency. If the legal tender of government is not there, it means you cannot use that currency. Like the old notes of our, that is 500 and 1000 rupee note, that have been demonetized by the government. Second, which of the following statement are correct in relation to the priority sector norms under agriculture? So PSL is a very important chapter. Again, PSL is part of your Indian economy, Indian financial system, as well as for your PPB. Okay, so this is the question about the PSL. If I talk about PSL, first of all, PSL, priority sector lending, is the sector in which 8 sectors comes here. All those sectors, according to RBI and Government of India, which have recently, those sectors which have a certain kind of importance in the economy, before developing these sector, it's not possible to develop the Indian economy. That sector is known as the priority sector. So as per RBI and Government of India, those sector which are not developed yet, but they have an importance in the economy, those are known as the priority sector lending sector. Now, the first is saying domestic commercial banks and foreign banks 20 branches and above are allowed lend 18% of ANBC COB, whichever is higher, out of which a target of 10% is prescribed for the small and marginal farmer. Second statement is saying foreign banks with less than 20 branches are not allowed to lend in this particular case. Third is saying RRBs are allowed to lend 18% of ANBC COB, whichever is higher, out of which target will go 10% in the prescribed for small finance bank, small and marginal farmers. Next is saying small finance banks are allowed to lend 18% of ANBC or COB, whichever is higher, out of which a target of 10% will go to the SMF. A small and marginal farmer. Small and marginal farmers are those farmers, when we talk about small farmers, who have the agriculture holding of 1 to 2 hectare, and the marginal farmer who have less than 1 hectare land holding. So that's the small and marginal farmers we have, and the small and marginal farmers category RBI has given, है ना? Category RBI has given in such a sense phases. You have to cover the target in the phases, and you have to answer which of the following category is correct in context to the PSL target given by RBI. Who gives this target? RBI gives this target. If any bank is not capable of fulfilling this particular target, then RBI will give the certain detail about the whom you have to deposit the surplus amount or the shortfall amount. If you are not capable of fulfilling the PSL target, then you have to give the shortfall amount to a SIDBI or NABARD or RIDF as per the RBI prescription. Apart from that, the second option is also there, PSL certificate. You can have the PSL certificate to fulfill your PSL target. And if I talk about PSL certificate, it will expire in the end of the financial year. Do remember that also. And the answer you guys are saying will be okay. The answer you guys are saying that will be your C. If I talk about the first statement, domestic commercial bank and foreign banks which have 20 and more branches, they have to give 80% to the agriculture. Out of that, 10% will go to small finance banks, small and marginal farmers. This is correct. Foreign banks which have less than 20 branches, they do not have any sub-target in the agriculture. This is also true. RRB have to give 18%. Out of 18, 10% will go to the small and marginal farmer. Similarly, small finance bank have to get 18%, out of which 10% will go to the small and marginal farmers. It means first, second, third and fourth. These are the statements which are correct. Okay, right answer will be B option. All the statements are correct. Do remember that. Now, next question we have. It creates new jobs and reduces unemployment, promotes entrepreneurship, culture, facilitate innovative business solution, etc. What we are talking about here? What we are talking about here? Which scheme is being discussed here in the statement mentioned above? So the scheme we are talking about, it provides, it creates the new jobs, it reduces the unemployment, it produces the entrepreneurship, the business, the new business establishment, promotes and facilitate the innovative business solution, etc. So what do you think? Which scheme we are talking about here? Answer quickly, which scheme we are talking about? Apart from that, the PSL total target for commercial banks is 40% of ANBC or COB, whichever is higher. The PSL target for a small finance bank is 75%. This is the total target I am talking about. The total PSL target of the year. In case of RRB, regional rural banks, it is 75%. In case of foreign banks, less than 20 branches, they also have the target of the 40%. And the foreign banks who have more than 20 or more than 20 branches, those foreign banks also have 20 or more than 20 branches, they have a 40% target. This is the target, है ना? And the right answer here will be Aspire scheme. Very good. This is Aspire scheme was introduced by SIDBI. It helps you to create the new job. It helps you to reduce the unemployment in the country, promote entrepreneurship. Simply, India is a kind of a country where we will find that India is a job seekers country. Everybody is looking for a job. Nobody is creating a job. है ना? So here we want to make India to have a journey from job seekers to job creators. And that's why a lot of schemes have been introduced. The first scheme here we are talking about Aspire scheme. So right answer is Aspire scheme. Next, which of the following statements are correct regarding the business cycle? So business cycle, you all know what is business cycle. First of all, if we talk about the business cycle talks about the 4 phases of a business cycle. It tells you about the fluctuations in the economic activities of the country. That is what the business cycle is. The first is saying business cycle occurs periodically, although they do not exhibit the same regularity. They occurs periodically, but the same Regularity will not be there. Business cycle have different phases of expansion, peak, contraction and trough. Business cycle are exceeding complex phenomena. Then business cycle have serious consequences on the well-being of the society. So what do you think, which of the following statement is correct about the business cycle? The statement correct about the business cycle. A, B, C or D? Let me know. Which of the following is a correct statement? Okay, so if I am talking about business cycle, it is a wave-like movement. In the business cycle, you will find a wave-like movement. It have a 4 phases. That is true. The expansion will be there, peak will be there, contraction will be there, trough will be there, and it also have a periodical, although they do not exit in the same duration. There is no same regularity, but yes, there will be a periodicity. Apart from that, they are exceedingly complex phenomena. They are serious consequences because business cycle have a pervasive effect. It have a pervasive effect. It means it will impact all over the country. That's why it is having an impact on the well-being of the society. It means all of the above statements are correct. Very good. Everybody is saying D option. All of the above are correct. Do make sure you are counting the question number, like how many questions you are answering correct. Okay. Now the next question is a very simple question but very important concept of your IE, that is talking about the Hindu rate of growth, which refer to the India's planned economy's low growth and low annual growth rate hovered around what percentage? 2%, 4%, 3%, 3.5%. Which of the following is true? Also let me know who coined this term. Who coined the term Hindu rate of growth? Who coined the term Hindu rate of growth? So it is 2%, 4%, 3% or 3.5%. And the right answer will be, it's a very simple question. Do not take that much time. Right answer is 3.5%. Hindu rate of growth is a rate of growth that shows you the slow rate of growth of a country. It shows you slow rate of growth of the country, and this term was coined by Professor Raj Krishnan. Very good. Professor Raj Krishnan have termed this coin. So right answer is D option. Okay, right answer is D option. Next question is talking about which among the following is not true regarding the merchant banks. Before the options, let me know who regulates the merchant banks. Who regulates the merchant banks? And these are the certain statements in front of you. Out of these, you have to answer that which of the following is not true. Which of the following is not true statement? Okay, so first of all, it is regulated by SEBI. That is true. Only merchant banking, first of all, is the type of banking which is regulated by the SEBI, not by RBI. Who regulates it? SEBI regulates it. Very good. Not RBI. Why you are saying RBI? Because sir, we have discussed that so many times that merchant banking is the type of banking which is regulated by SEBI. It means first statement is a true statement. Right? Always use the elimination method. First statement is a true statement. It means it cannot be the A option. If you are capable of eliminating the options, you will be less confused in the paper. Second statement is saying merchant banks primarily deal with the debt and debt related finance. Merchant banks are management oriented. Merchant banks are mainly financiers. So what do you think which of the following is correct? What do you think which of the following is correct? Okay, so right answer is your merchant banks primarily deal with the debt and debt related finance. Then merchant banks are mainly financiers. These are the two statements which are not true. Apart from that, the merchant banks are actually management oriented. So what are the not true statements? The C option is a not true statement. It means second and fourth are not true regarding your merchant banks. So right answer will be C. Okay. Next question. Acha, do make sure whenever you are preparing, you are giving a mock test, you are going for a main exam, do make sure you are reading it very carefully. It is asking for a true statement or not true, correct or not correct, that you have to focus on. So now next question is talking about which among the following is not a pillar of National Education Policy 2022. Out of these four, which of the following is not a pillar of National Education Policy? What do you think? No, there is no negative marking, Abhay sir. There is no negative marking. Also, I request to all of you, do share the session on your Telegram channel, WhatsApp group, or you know someone who is preparing for the exam. Do share the session. Now, the question will be here. Which of the following is not a pillar? Quantity is not a pillar. Apart from quantity, you will have to have here the quality. So, we are talking about the national education policy. Quantity is not a pillar. Apart from quantity, it should be quality. So, quality, accessibility, equity and accountability. These are the 4 pillars of your national education policy. So, right answer will be C. It is not a pillar. Now, next. Apart from that, we are talking about in the last 4 decades, India has faced the following major shocks. Last 4 decades means the period of 10 years is a decade. So, there are certain decades in front of you. There are certain shocks have been written in front of you. You have to answer which of the following faced by India. Which of the following faced by India? First is saying the 1991 balance of payment crisis. Second is saying 2008 global financial crisis. Third is saying COVID-19 pandemic. Okay, and you guys are saying, very good. Everybody is saying B. No, 2 options are coming, B and C. After the BOP crisis, we have introduced LPG. After the BOP crisis, we have introduced the LPG to overcome the balance of payment crisis of the country. If I talk about global financial crisis, to reduce the impact of global financial crisis, Government of India have introduced a major liquidity in the market. Similarly, RBI have made the easy monetary policy, expansionary monetary policy and released a lot of money in the economy. And that created fiscal deficit in the country. And because of that, the solution we have find out after that is FRBM Act. FRBM Act became active now here that you have to control the fiscal deficit. The government have to control the fiscal deficit. So FRBM Act was introduced in the year 2013, but after global financial crisis, we need it to control the fiscal deficit of the government, because after global financial crisis, it was crossing the limit of the FRBM Act. COVID-19 pandemic was there, so right answer will be D option. All the 3 shocks Indian economy have faced last 4 decades. Okay, next question. Next question is talking about choose the correct statement. There are certain statements have been given to you. Out of these, you have to answer which of the following is the correct one. Now, what is balance of payment? Balance of payment simply a type of statement. It's a systematic statement of all the economic transaction between India and rest of the world in a financial year. That's a balance of payment. Now, as income increases, the consumer will go for superior goods, and consequently the demand for inferior goods will fall. Okay, so we have 2 types of goods here. Second is saying when income increases, the money supply spent on the necessaries of life may not increases in the same proportion. If your income is increasing, then money spent on the necessary of your life not increases in the same proportion. So what do you think, which of the following is correct? Which of the following is correct? So first of all, superior goods are those goods which have what? Superior goods are those goods which have a proper value of, we can say, a kind of product that you use when you have a more income. It means better quality goods. Inferior goods are those goods which have a negative relation with income. They have a negative relation with income. If your income increases, the demand for inferior goods reduces because these are the cheap products. As if I belong to the BPL family, I will be using the product that will be, let's say, in the fair price shop government is providing. But if I started earning, I get out from the below poverty line condition, I will be purchasing the better quality product. So first statement, if we talk about, the first statement is totally true. The first statement is totally true. The second, we are saying when income increases, the money spent on the necessaries of life may not increase in the same proportion. That is also true. So right answer will be both the statements are correct. Right answer will be both the statements are correct. Okay, right answer is both the statements are correct. The reason, because inferior goods have a negative relation with income. If the income increases, their demand will decrease and you will start purchasing the superior goods. Same thing we are saying, if income increases, the money spent of the necessary of life may not increase in the same proportion because of the economic situation, different economic situation of the country. Now the penalty for non-compliance with CSR provision are. Also let me know in which particular section of Companies Act 2013 CSR have been defined. So CSR stands for what? The full form you have to let me know. The section you have to let me know here. Full form of CSR. Then the section in which it has been managed. Now, the question is asking what is the condition or what is the penalty if you are not following the compliance of the CSR. First is saying at least 1 crore for the defaulting company. Second is saying at least 2 lakh for each defaulting officer. Third is saying imprisonment, provision of maximum 3 years for defaulting officer. What do you think which of the following is correct? Very good. Right answer is here 135 section, and the full form is corporate social responsibility. Very good. Right answer is corporate social responsibility, and the section is 135. Now, what is the penalty here? So earlier if I talk about, we used to take CSR as a criminal offense. It used to be the criminal offense. Okay, but now since 2020, it have been taken as a civil wrong. It has been taken as a civil wrongs, and civil wrong when it has been changed, then it created that there only will be a penalty, no imprisonment situation will be there. Imprisonment situation used to be there when it used to be taken as a criminal offense. So after 2020, it is not anymore a criminal offense, it's a civil wrong. So that's why A and B, it means first and second statement will be true. No imprisonment situation is there because now it is not a criminal offense. So right answer will be first and second. Right answer will be your first and second. Do remember this very important CSR in the May 2023, they have asked the section of CSR. Okay, section of CSR have been asking in the May 2023 paper. Next. So right answer will be your A. Next question we have, zero hunger is related to which of the following sustainable development goals? Zero hunger is related to which of the following sustainable development goals? Also let me know total sustainable development goals are. Also let me know if we talk about the time period of sustainable development goals, what is the time period? Who have introduced the sustainable development goals? Let me know that. So right answer here will be Acha. Till you are answering here, one information for all of you, you will find in the chat there is a Google form available for all of you. It have been pinned. So what you have to do, please fill the Google form after you complete this session. Hana, do not forget to fill the Google form there. So the total there are 17 goals. We have 17 goals and 169 targets have been given. 17 goals are there, 169 targets are there. Since 2015 it was introduced, and the time period you have to achieve these 17 goals is 16 to 30, and that's why it is known as Agenda 2030. It is known as what? Agenda 2030, and it was introduced by United Nations General Assembly. Before Sustainable Development Goal, we used to have a Millennium Development Goal that was introduced in the year 2000, and what target was to achieve till 2015, and it used to have the 8 goals only. Okay, so this is the detailed information of the SDG, and the right answer is zero hunger is a part of SDG goal number 2. So right answer will be your D option. Right answer will be your D option. Okay, now next question is asking the maximum credit period normally permitted under the factoring. So first of all, if I talk about the factoring, what is factoring and who will be the factor in the factoring? Who can become the factor in the factoring? Okay, so factoring is simply a kind of service. It's a kind of alternate source of finance that we use to provide finance to the seller in the immediate cash basis. It means, let's say for example, I am the seller and I have done a certain trade with the buyer, and the buyer have given me, I have done the shipment of the goods, I have sent the shipment of the goods. Now buyer is saying buyer is going to make the payment after 30 days or after 1 month or after 2 months or 6 months, but I need an immediate cash because I have to confirm the other trade or I have to confirm the other order, and that's why I need immediate cash. So that receivable I will take to the bank and will ask the immediate cash from the bank, and bank will provide me the immediate cash on the basis of checking the credit worthiness of the buyer as well as mine. Okay, and in the factoring, bank will be more concerned about the credit worthiness of buyer, because buyer is the party who is going to give money back to the bank at the time of due payment. And the right answer will be Right answer will be 150 days inclusive of your grace period of 60 days. Very good. Right answer will be A. Your actual duration is 90 days plus 60 days grace period is there. If I talk about factoring, how much money, how much immediate cash will be given to you? How much immediate cash will be given? What is the cash amount that will be immediately given? And factor will be bank and financial institution. Very good, Prashant sir. So factor will be your bank and financial institution. And how much amount will be given as a immediate cash by the bank and financial institution? It will be up to 80%. Correct. Now, acha, what is the amount of the immediate cash available in forfeiting? What is the amount? Also, one more important thing here, it is the types of factoring. The types of factoring. The factoring have two types, that is recourse and non-recourse. You can call it with recourse and without recourse as well. In the forfeiting, it will be 100%. In the forfeiting, the immediate cash will be available 100% from the bank. Now next, with reference to the FRBM Act, consider the following statement and choose the incorrect statement. First of all, let me know what is the full form of FRBM Act, and let me know the immediately what are the years which is important regarding your FRBM Act. So FRBM Act have a certain statement here. Out of that, you have to tell which of the following is correct. In the factoring, it will be 100%. In the forfeiting, it will be 100%. In factoring, it will be up to 80 or 85. In maximum number of cases, it is 80. Okay. Now, what is the full form of FRBM Act? What are the important acts here under the FRBM? It's not foreign responsibility. No. Okay, it is Fiscal Responsibility and Budget Management Act. Sangeeta ma'am has given the answer right. So FRBM Act stands for Fiscal Responsibility and Budget Management Act. In 2000 year, first time it was introduced in the Parliament. In 2003, Act was passed. Okay. In 2003, Act was passed. In 2004, the Act became effective. This Act became what? It became effective. So now the question is asking, first, FRBM Act is strengthen the fiscal stability. Second, the committee under the chairmanship of Mr. Deepak Kumar was set up to review the FRBM Act. FRBM bill was introduced in Parliament for the first time in the year 2003. And the last one is saying FRBM bill was introduced by Mr. Yashwant Sinha. So what do you think? Which of the following is incorrect one? You have to answer incorrect one. Okay. So if we talk about, okay, C and D and B, different options are coming. If I talk about the first one, this is definitely true statement that we want a fiscal discipline in the country. That's why FRBM Act was introduced. The committee was not chaired by Mr. Deepak Kumar. It was chaired by Mr. N.K. Singh. It means the second statement is not true. It means the right answer can be your B or D. Okay, two options have been eliminated. Now the next thing, FRBM bill was introduced first time in the Parliament. I have just told you, not first time in the 2003. Apart from that, 2000 year will be there. FRBM Act was first introduced by Mr. Yashwant Sinha in 2000 year. He was the finance minister at that time. So right answer will be your B. Second and third is the not correct statement about the FRBM Act. So this is the whole detail. Like in a single question, you can ask, you can see 2 to 3 content of the particular topic or the concept of the particular topic will be available. So do not only focus on the answer of the question, also focus on the explanation of the question. Okay. So right answer will be B. Second and third is incorrect. Achha, what is the target? We want to have fiscal deficit and revenue deficit and effective revenue deficit to be reduced. At what percent? At what percent had the target have been taken? We want to reduce the fiscal deficit, the revenue deficit and the effective revenue deficit. There are total 5 types of deficit in the budget. First, you have a budgetary deficit, revenue deficit, fiscal deficit, you have primary deficit and the effective revenue deficit. So right answer is we want the fiscal deficit to be 3%, we want revenue deficit 0%, we want effective revenue deficit 0%. First target have been given in the 2009, we were not able to achieve. 2021 we haven't achieved. 2023 still we haven't achieved, and there is very less chances that the target given by FRBM Act will be able to achieved. Which of the following is correct about the contingent